my name's Eli, and there's something I need to tell you about my camping trip last summer. You probably won't believe me, but I swear on everything I love this story is true. My buddy Logan and I decided to go camping in the Appalachian Mountains. We thought it'd be a great way to unwind from city life, reconnect with nature. Now, I wish we never went. The first night, everything seemed normal. We set up our tent, lit a fire, and roasted marshmallows. The air was filled with the tranquil hum of crickets and the gentle rustling of the trees. But as the embers of our fire started to die down, the forest seemed to grow silent, an unnerving stillness that turned our laughter into whispers. Then, we heard the first noise, a low guttural growl, something like a wild animal but at the same time, eerily human. It echoed through the trees, raising goosebumps on my skin. I exchanged a worried glance with Logan, but we wrote it off as a bear or a bobcat and retreated into the tent. We must have eventually dozed off because I was jolted awake by a heart-stopping scream. It was Logan, thrashing in his sleeping bag, eyes wide and staring at something outside the tent. I followed his gaze to see a figure, a dark silhouette against the faint moonlight. It seemed to be a man, but it was far too tall, and its limbs were unnaturally long and spindly. Fear surged through me, and I fumbled for the flashlight. As I flicked it on, the figure abruptly turned and vanished into the forest. Logan was gasping for breath, his face pale. We huddled in our tent, too afraid to move, jumping at every rustle of the leaves outside. By morning, the terror of the night before seemed distant, more like a bad dream than reality. We were about to chalk it up to an overactive imagination when we saw them. Footprints. Not those of a man, nor any animal we knew. They were large, clawed, and deeply imprinted, as if whatever made them was heavy. That's when Logan decided to end our trip. He was already packing up when I saw something glinting near the edge of the clearing. Curiosity piqued. I walked over to find an old compass, its glass face scratched but still working. It was pointing south. All compasses point north, but not this one. A shiver ran down my spine. Logan called out, pulling me from my thoughts. He had found more footprints leading away from our camp, deeper into the forest. The compass still pointed south, directly along the footprints' path. An irrational impulse took over me. I felt compelled to follow, like the compass was whispering for me to venture deeper. I convinced Logan to follow the trail, assuring him we might find someone who needed help. He was reluctant, but ultimately agreed. We ventured farther into the wilderness. The compass and footprints our ominous guide. Hours passed. The sun was setting, casting long, ghastly shadows among the trees. We should have turned back, but I was still driven by the strange allure of the compass. Suddenly, the footprints ended. Confused, we looked around, only to see the towering figure from the night before standing a few yards away. It was motionless, watching us. In its presence, my mind screamed in terror, but my body wouldn't respond. It was like I was trapped in my own skin. The creature stepped forward, its body contorting in ways that defied natural physics. It reached out towards me, its fingers eerily elongated. Then it spoke. Its voice was a cacophony of screams and growls, and yet within it, I heard words. "Free me." My hand moved on its own accord, extending the compass towards the creature. As soon as the compass touched its outstretched hand, there was a blinding light, a thunderous roar, and I felt my consciousness slip away. When I came to, Logan was shaking me, panic etched on his face. We were back at our camp, the morning sun streaming through the trees. I clutched my chest, feeling an unexplainable emptiness. The compass was gone. We left the woods in a daze. I didn't tell Logan about the creature's words or the inexplicable teleportation. I couldn't make sense of it myself. All I know is that the forest still calls to me in my dreams, in quiet moments. It's a persistent whisper, a plea. Free me. The compass is gone, the creature hopefully freed, but the horror of that trip lingers, a chilling reminder that some camping stories are better left untold.